So I watched two Malayalam films that went under the radar. Are they underrated gems or was there a reason for that? So let's talk about them. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and I'm talking about two films. And one is easier name, other is a difficult name after a long time, a very difficult named Malayalam film for me. So let's begin with that, and it's called Oru Durooha Saahacharyathil. Let me try that again. Oru Durooha Saahacharyathil, which means under mysterious circumstances. So Wikipedia says it's a Malayalam language mystery comedy thriller, a very unique combination, and it makes sense when you see the director of the film, which is Ratheesh Balakrishnan Poduval, who also made Nathan Case Kodu, which I really enjoyed. Now I heard some things about it when it released. When it came on Netflix, I heard few murmurs, but nothing special. There was not an onslaught of people telling me to check it out. It's a really good film, and that's why for me it went under the radar. Recently, when I made my top 10 films of the year so far, a lot of people commented about this film. And I'm like, wait, if that's the case, I should have a look at it. And I finally did, and I had a really good time with this film. There are issues, flaws which we'll come to, but this is a film which takes a very crazy take on a very sensitive topic. And that's what makes it special. A film that is centered around Naxalites and Mois, which is a very heavy and touchy subject. And in that, you bring an angle of comedy which, works very well, which is very organic to it. That definitely makes it stand out. I think the biggest positive of this film are the characters which are played by some outstanding actors. And one of them is actually a director turned actor, Chidambaram, who made Mandhumal Boys and Balan. I never knew he could act so well. That was the biggest surprise for me. Kunchacko Boban as Setu, a meek guy who cannot stand up for himself, who's always scared of people around him, them taking advantage of him. But he loves his brother. I couldn't, see Kunchacko Boban. I just saw this character, and that tells you, how underrated he is. Personally, I have not seen many films of him, but every time I see him in a film, he just stands out. Each role is so different. And I think he does such a good job with his performances that you just feel he did great. And you never, spend time to talk about how well he did it, because it just feels so natural. And then we have the brother Madhu, played by Dileesh Pothan, and oh my god, one of his finest performances. He was outstanding, the way he showed his illness, just me, sitting on the bed, the way he was talking, the way he was interacting with everyone. My god, the emotions that hit you, the chemistry between both of them. I was just in love with these characters. I just want to spend time with them. Even when they are not, the best people to spend time with. They are not in a very great environment. But still in such tense situation, they just work so well. Now, minor spoilers, then comes another character in their lives, played by Sajin Gopu, who you may remember from Avesham. And even he brings such a unique energy to the film. Literally until the reveal doesn't happen about his character, he feels like a very different character because we don't know much about him. And the moment we get the reveal, the transition is so smooth that he is acting the same way he was acting before, but just because of the added context, the performance and the meaning of it totally changes. And again, his chemistry with Kunchacko and Dileesh, all them together, wow, one of the best of the year. And as I was, witnessing all of this, I was like, this is gonna be my favorite film of the year. How did I miss it? And then things go haywire a bit. Now, tonally, for most part of the film, it's consistent. There's this wackiness to it in a serious world. It is a very extraordinary word in a sense, and we are following a very ordinary cat in it. That's what makes it special. Like, a protagonist should not exist in this place. He's not meant to be here, but he is, and that's what makes it intriguing. And throughout the film, there's a lot of social commentary. There's a lot of references. There's a different level of meta-ness. Literally, they call out the film within the film. We're on a news channel, they're talking about a film that is coming with these exact actors. And at the interval, we get a dialogue that first half is good, it's going well, now let's see what happens in the second half. And that just added a unique flavor to the film. But as we move ahead with the story, the way it wraps up, it felt like, they abandoned that part of the film and it became more serious and wanting to hit those emotional moments more. And to me, that felt like a missed opportunity. We could have stayed with that tone and continued the film. But I guess the makers wanted to do something else. But I have to admit that I have a very basic understanding of the core of the film, the politics and the actual things that happen, which the film is actually talking about in Kerala. I'm not very familiar with that, so maybe there's something I'm missing there. And in a way, the film is trying to show, how when you suppress someone too much, they will fight back. And suddenly that fight back, them becoming a rebel, get termed as wrong and evil. It is a very grey area, there is no right and wrong. Again, watching Malayalam cinema, this is a film which makes you wonder, how did they even come up with this idea? And if you haven't seen the film, I would still recommend it. There's a lot of things I haven't talked about. There are a lot of layers and angles that are in the film which are so well done. And they are refreshing. You may not have seen that anywhere before, unless you have and I haven't. in the comments. Special shout out to Jafar Idduki. After a long time, I saw him on screen and he was crazy. It made me feel that I was missing him on screen. If you want to guys the film, it's on Netflix. Now let's talk about the second film called Dridam, starring Shane Nigam, directed by Martin Joseph, another police investigation thriller for Malayalam cinema. And story-wise, it's actually really cool. But I think it's the treatment that didn't click for me. And we'll come to that. But before that, I need to give you some context. Again, a film that I heard about a bit, but didn't hear some great things. So, I didn't watch it as soon as it came out. Now, if you didn't notice, I was away for some time from the channel. There was a reason for that. Basically, I became an uncle and the kiddo is quite something. But because of that, the whole extended family was together and, everyone's like, let's watch a movie. And I was just, going to George and I saw Dridam. I saw the runtime. Good enough. A thriller. I guess everyone will enjoy. And also, it's available in Hindi dub. Now, I know that's a big sin. But because I was watching the family, I thought, okay, let's just watch the Hindi dub. I do keep the subtitles on just to, see everything is, rightly done. There's no different translation or something wrong what they have done. And anyways, if I'm watching Malayalam also, I'm reading subtitles. So in a way, I get the whole context. Of course, the language, the essence will be missing. But it was a special situation, so you have to forgive me. But this was a really good opportunity to understand if the film is working for the other people who are not used to watching Malayalam films. For some of them, it was their first one. Of course, they are watching in Hindi, but still the actors, the way it's shot, the way the story is told, it's very different to them. But it was fun to see how they are reacting with the film. And we were watching it late. We started, I think, at around 10:30 and the film ended at 12:31. And everyone who was watching it was sleepy. That's what happened when a new baby comes. Most of us were sleep deprived, but the film kept us hooked. We couldn't move away. You wanted to know what's happening. And that's why, the story worked. The twists and turns that come in the way they work. But for me, the things that didn't work were, number one, the film couldn't create an atmospheric tension. Like they really had cool location in Udupi. They even show us some beautiful shots of the place. But that atmospheric tension was just missing. And in a way, the film is actually trying to establish that this place, nothing really happens. It's very quiet, zero crime rate. But still, the vibe of this place was missing. When you say the location is also a character in a film, that was not there. And that also translates to the characters in the film. They are very one-tone and basic. There's a clear lack of depth and nuance in their character. In a way, it's very simple. If you take Shane Nigam's character, this is his first posting after getting trained and he's actually come to a town where crime rate is zero. He doesn't have any superior. He's in a way in charge. He needs to build a camaraderie with his other colleagues. So, there's a lot to look forward to for this character. And you get to see that he's fresh in this world. He gets angry when he's offered bribe, but he's told that that's how things work. You have to let it go. And he does that, Like, there's no conflict there. I wish they had added more to his character, like, a movie like Newton, where because he's so fresh, he wants to be perfect. He has principles, he'll never break them. Maybe he's arrogant about that. He's very stubborn about it. And that's why he's having conflicts with different people in the film. But they play it very differently. We do get some moments where, there are people who are using power and trying to push him down because he's fresh, he's new. But even those moments don't stand out for his character. The film is more focused on taking the plot ahead. Now, I don't want to reveal the twists and turns in this review. I'm to keep it spoiler free. But I think maybe because of the, twists and turns that come ahead, they had to go with a very simpler approach, because of which the twist will be more shocking. And even when the big reveal happens, the shocking twist comes, the way it is performed, it's very mustache twirling, one-note performance. You don't feel the weight of it. A very good reference to this would be a film like Nayat. But that's wrong to expect every film to be, like that. But the thing is, the film is very much grounded. It wants to keep things in grey, but that is very much missing in its execution. Again, the whole investigation keeps you hooked. There are multiple things happening. As the character trying to solve it, even you are trying to do it. You're trying to predict who it may be, sorry. Actually, when the reveal happens, I didn't see it coming. It was very unpredictable. And they actually build over that. It's not just a single twist and it's over. Again, the climax, I was not a fan of the treatment of it. It plays out as a very ordinary finale to the film. And overall, throughout the film, that's what I felt. It's just too basic in its treatment. Like, there were so many things with the same plot you could do to make the film more immersive. And, make the film unforgettable. Not just for its twist, but also because of its making. So those were the two interesting Malayalam films I saw and I want to talk about. Do let me know what are your thoughts about that in the comments below. And definitely check out my top 10 films of the year so far, if you haven't. Some wild choices I made there, which I don't think you'd be expecting. Do these two films make the top 10 list? I don't think so. But there's lots more coming up in the year, which I'm really excited for. So do subscribe to get those videos and I will see you next time.